A lot of people, I imagine, come to you with weight loss goals, whether
Yep.
they're trying to cut weight for a fight or
Sure.
if it's just mum and pop looking to lose a few pounds. What are the big misconceptions about weight loss?
Yeah, it's the magic of it, right? There's one specific element you can't eat, or one way you have to train or can't train. That is the biggest misconception around fat loss, the specificity. It is categorically quite simple to lose fat. It's practically hard. It's difficult human endeavor, but categorically it's incredibly simple. We only have a few things we have to do. And now you have a billion choices of how to get there. So if you are the type of person who struggles with moderation, then I'm not going to give you moderation.
Moderation of calories.
Could be, or exercise, or environment. Do you know the difference between baking and cooking?
Yeah, I guess so, conceptually.
Baking is chemistry.
Okay.
You mix something together and put it in the oven. You can't just fake the amounts because it won't rise, it won't set, it won't do the things, right? If you're cooking on a stove and you could just be like, okay, what's in the fridge, put it in there. You can't do that in baking, right? Depending on what you're baking. We will address this fat loss problem with trying to identify, are you a cook or are you a baker personality type? Here's what I mean. If you came to me and we were going to help you lose some fat, you're already pretty lean, but let's say you wanted to just get super lean. All right, great. First question I would ask you is, how do you want this to operate? You get one of two ways. One way is I tell you exactly what to eat. You weigh and measure every single thing. You do not deviate. You check your weight every single day and you follow exactly what I tell you. The other option is I give you concepts. We have 1 to 3 rules. You're going to check weight maybe daily, maybe once a week. And I want you to stay airtight to those concepts.
I prefer the concepts.
Concepts. Great. Concepts are cooking.
Okay.
Baking, weigh and measure everything, right? Here's why this matters. You're a concept kind of guy. Why? You do not want to be thinking about all that little stuff because you have other stuff you'd rather be thinking about, right? Mm-hmm. It's great because it's freeing. You know, the downside is if you don't know exactly what's in your food and you don't have a really good eye in calibration, someone like you might have a hard time losing fat because you're already at the end. We need to be weighing that olive oil. We need to be measuring that rice cup. We can't just be like, oh, a little bit of rice over there, right? If you're trying to lose 100 pounds, we can probably eyeball a lot of things and get really, really far.
Yeah.
But personality type is what I'm really getting at here. Okay. If I gave that concept to some people listening, some people would be going, like, how many meals am I eating? Like, what's the fiber? Like, they want the detail, right?
What's the concept?
The concept could be something like,
give me an example of the 3
I want
concepts.
you eating fresh vegetables at every meal, and I want you to have a dedicated protein source every time you eat.
Okay.
And that might be the only rule I give you.
Well, could it be an eating window?
Could be. Sure. I could say, eat whatever you want, but you're only going to eat between these hours.
Okay.
I could do whatever kind of 1 to 3 rules I want. I could say none of those things, and I'll just say, all right, just cut out all your junk food.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I'm just going to give you a list of things not to eat. I could only give you, I prefer to do the opposite, prefer to give you things rather than take things away, because you're going to take those things away, right? So I could play with your meal timing. I could play with your meal frequency. I could play with your meal composition. So what types of food you're eating, the combinations of them. I could do anything there. And why all those work? Because those are simply different strategies to likely reduce food intake. That's all we're really doing. But some people hate that because it's not enough detail. There's no specificity. There's no precision. They get anxiety from guessing. I've had plenty of athletes before just be like, okay, but like 6 ounces of chicken or 7. I'm like, 6.3. Like, okay, like who cares? Like, it doesn't matter, but they just like, they don't want to make any decisions. Mm-hmm. You have to make decisions about what you're going to eat because you only had concepts. The nice part about the way you measure is you have no choices.
I think the average people listening would rather have the concepts. Like, it's much easier for me to, they have their busy lives. They don't want to be weighing 6.3 grams of So
you'd be stunned. Most people want that.
Most people want
They want the detail because they don't have to think. They don't have to guess. They don't have to worry. They don't have to go, God, like maybe I ate too much today. Maybe I didn't or whatever.
But that's like hard to measure.
Super hard. So here's the recommendation. Do the baking approach first for 2 weeks.
And by that, you mean measure everything, understand what's in it.
100%. Then you can back off and start to go, okay, I have a better sense of what a tablespoon of peanut butter looks like. I have a better sense of what a cup of rice is. I'm getting a better sense of what 3 ounces of this is, whatever. And now I can start toning things back.
I think this is really great advice, because I think the big shifts that I've seen in my own diet have been in that exact order, where for one particular week it might be calorie counting, or it might have been some of these apps where you can scan the food by using the barcode, and it tells you what's inside there. And through that, it only took me a week or two to discover that the things I ate frequently weren't what I thought.
Yeah.
Both in quantity, but also in like nutritional profile.
I think it's super important for as many people as possible to spend at least a week doing that.
And then I could make informed decisions about what I wanted to keep and what I actually didn't really like that much anyway.
You know, I used to run this experiment in class every year. These are graduate students getting master's degrees in this particular field. And we would have them do a 7-day diet recall. Just measure, weigh everything you eat for 7 days. Consistent themes that popped up. Almost everyone ate way more fat than they think.
Is that a bad thing?
If you're eating more calories than you need.
Oh, so it's the calories is the problem versus the...
Fat's not bad for you. There's no evil foods. People ate way more carbohydrates than they realized. Same answer. People ate way less protein than they think.
What about sugar?
Everyone knows they're eating sugar. Where they're always stunned is they're like, whoa, I thought I was eating a small percentage, 20% of my calories from fat. They didn't realize they're at 40%.
This is why the keto diet actually did help me. Because it forced me to check everything for a while.
So this is great.
It was really learning. It was learning what was in all these things that I loved. And keto forced me, the principle or the concept that I had when I was on keto was that I could have about 50 grams of carbs a day, roughly.
And staying ketogenic?
Yeah.
Ketosis, rather. Yeah.
So I would think about it like a budget.
Sure.
I'd be like, I'd spend 23 grams of carbs on this particular thing.
Yeah.
But to do that, I had to look at everything, research everything.
Yeah.
And now I have an intuitive idea.
Exactly. The point is simply your awareness and consciousness of what is actually in the elements that you want. And then if you want to change and tweak, you can do that because you know. But if you don't have the knowledge, you can't even play the game.
What are the big misconceptions about exercise's role in weight loss?
It is valuable. Forever we've been telling people burn more calories than you ingest, right? And then it's still true. And then we had a bunch of research pop out that was sort of like, hey, exercise is not playing the role we think it is in fat loss. And those data still hold true in the sense that you don't burn as many calories in your workouts as you think. Most of the time, if you hop on a piece of exercise equipment and it tells you burned X amount of calories, you burned most likely significantly less than that. It's also true that there is places where you can get to with adaptive thermogenesis, meaning if you burn, say, 500 calories with exercise, if you are lean enough or non-lean enough or fit enough or not fit enough, your body will change how many calories it burns throughout the day in response to that 500 calories from exercise. Meaning you could be in a situation, theoretically, where you burned 500 calories in your workout, but then your body down-regulated your energy expenditure by 3 or 4 or even up to 500 calories.
To make up for it. So it was...
Net neutral.
Okay.
When you're lean, like that can happen quite often, right? And so then what do? You pull more calories. You train harder. You get more of a response. This is calorie counting doesn't matter. Like, it absolutely matters. It may not be the strategy you want, but it matters there. So then there was a big push of like exercise is playing no role in fat loss, which was fundamentally also not true. Because now we have meta-analyses in the recent years, as well as more studies showing probably the fairest way to say it is exercise is a fantastic way to burn some calories. It is not the only thing that you can do, though, to lose weight. You can handle weight loss entirely through nutrition if you want. That said, people who exercise during their weight loss journey consistently are better at keeping that fat off over the weeks to years at the end of the diet.
You have a 5-4-3-2-1 method.
Oh, sure. 5-4-3-2-1 was just a little thing I came up with that says, all right, can we help people with fat loss rules? 5 days a week, be active. Now, this can be exercise. It can be walking. It can be your vocation. I don't really care. But what has to happen with fat loss is you have to be able to produce caloric expenditure. And you got to do a lot of it. This is my way of saying be active. And also I'm saying it's cool to take a rest day too. Like it's totally fine to just veg. You can do that, but be as active as you possibly can. Then from there, I want 4 days a week of structured exercise. One of these days can be a super hard day. It can be light. One of those days could be a yoga day. Like not all 4 days have to be head to the gym, volume 11, like train as hard as you can. But 4 days a week where I want you doing structured exercise. At least 3 days a week, I want you training hard enough to sweat. If you're doing all that, you're active 5 days a week, you're doing structured exercise 4 days a week, 3 of those sessions, you're doing it hard enough where you're getting a really good solid sweat, you're probably doing enough to burn enough calories to give yourself a chance from the exercise perspective to losing weight. If you've done those first 3, we could even just call it the 5-4-3. Like you're in a pretty good spot. To be more granular, I would love a couple of days a week of strength training. And I would love at least one day where your heart rate's getting really, really, really high.
So a lot of people, including myself, often think, I'm going to the gym 3-4 days a week, but nothing's changing. I feel like I've stagnated.
Yeah.
What is going on there, typically?
Typical solutions for this are lack of focus. And I don't mean in your training, I mean in your programming. So if you are looking at your program saying, I'm going to the gym 3 or 4 days a week, my first question would be, okay, what type of training program are you on?
I'm kind of just winging it.
That's why.
Okay.
If I said the same thing to you and gave you any business analogy here, you would look at me in the face and smile. Like, be like, you have a plan. Why would you expect without a plan to get to any particular direction?
That's a good point.
80% of the time, that's the answer. Now, here's the thing. And we have literature on this. There's good evidence. The plan itself isn't the biggest factor. It's actually just having a plan.
Interesting.
Because you have the ability to progressively overload.
What does that mean?
Meaning you were able to increase your number of repetitions than you did last week. You can do a few more sets than you did. You can increase the load. You can increase the range of motion. There's all kinds of ways that we can overload the system progressively. You can't do all of them.
I think this is really the heart of it, which is most of us go to the gym and we do the same thing.
Totally.
We do the same thing we did last week. We put the Stairmaster machine on level 8 and we do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we did that for the last 7 months.
Yeah.
Whereas we should really just put it up one. But in order to do that, we kind of need a plan, as you say.
Because you can't just go up one every time.
Yeah.
Like how many weeks in a row can you add 5 pounds? 3, 4? Like it's not going to be very long. This is the entire reason exercise is a scientific field, right? We have that. So my strong recommendation would be if you're an absolute beginner and you're not going to the gym at all, you're not doing anything, you can probably use AI tools and give you some basic starting program. In fact, people send these things all the time to me. Be like, hey, I prompted my thing with like all of your content and I have a complete personalized training program from Andy Galpin. I'm like, great. And I look at them, I'm like, pretty good. Like, all right, that's pretty reasonable. And they're good enough to get you started. They're going to get you the basics, they're going to get you going, and then you have something to follow for 6, 8, 10 weeks, whatever.
Let me ask AI for Andy Galpin's.
Put in your constraints. Tell it how many days a week.
Okay, let's do it like so everyone can hear. Hi, I want to go to the gym 4 days a week, and I want Andy Galpin's formula for me to gain muscle. But what are the principles that I need to apply based on Andy Galpin's work over the next 4 months in order to gain this muscle?
To gain muscle and strength over the next 4 months, you'll want to focus on a few key principles from Dr. Galpin's work. First, prioritize progressive overload by gradually increasing the weight, reps, or sets over time. Second, use a variety of repetition ranges, incorporating both heavy low-rep work for strength and moderate to high-rep work for muscle growth. Finally, ensure you're taking adequate rest between sets, usually 2 to 5 minutes for heavy compound movements to allow for full recovery and maintain high-quality effort.
Pretty good. There's a little bit of hallucination in there, which is AI. But that's pretty close.
A lot of people are doing this now, aren't they? They're using AI as like their...
We've saw a huge pendulum in the last 5 years. 2020 almost ended health and fitness. Gyms went out of business. Everyone went home. Everyone bought their exercise equipment. And as soon as AI came online coaching tanked and online companies got crippled. Because everyone is like, why am I going to pay you $100 a month, $200 a month, $300 a month for that? And they were right. It's going the exact opposite now. It's already swung back. In-person training is way more in demand.
I'm not surprised. Because
everyone's tired of that.
It's also, personal trainers don't just tell you what to do.
No.
They make sure you do it. So
how do I do it? It's the emotion. It's the connection.
It's the emotion. It's the connection. It's the like holding me accountable.
So what you're seeing is people going, it was never about the information.
Yeah. We always had the information.
You always had it. Yeah. Nothing in that I made up.
Yeah.
That stuff's been around for, like, it's funny. Every time I talk about like exercise prescription, somebody will hit the comments and be like, why don't you give credit to blah, blah, blah? They're the one that invented that. And I'm like, none of us invented this stuff. Mm-hmm. Dumbbells, barbells, like rep ranges. It's not the information. It's never been it.
So what is it then? Like, why do people keep listening to these conversations when they a lot of them kind of know the stuff?
I don't know what's happening on your platform, but a lot of people are not listening to podcasts anymore because you're going to see this probably in the comments section. Hey, Grok, tell me the 10 actionable things from this 3-hour conversation. Because they just try and extract the data, right? Mm-hmm. And then they don't do anything. You know who's going to take action from this? The people who listened.
True. Yeah. Because it's not the
information.
Yeah. In part it is the story. And I say the story in particular because one of the most compelling things that we see on these podcasts is when you tell me real case studies of real people. Yeah. You talk about what Jenny did, and you were training Jenny, and she had this thing, and she was perimenopause, and she did this thing with this thing, and blah.
Yeah.
And people go, okay, those stay with me.
You know what I'm willing to pay for? You know what the world is willing to pay for? Have you done it before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true. Human experience, like lived experience.
So when you see a story, you're able to go, okay, I believe that person's done it. And now I trust that opinion because I could just go grab the program, right? The other thing is it's saving me time. Like you could sit there and go, okay, here's all the prompts or whatever, throw it in there and get your own training program. Or you could be like, yo, I'm just going to go pay Andy. I know he's done it before. I trust him. And now I'm going to go spend my time on this other thing that I care about learning about and spending my time on.
Are there any commonalities in the catalyst moment that causes behavior change in people who are otherwise stubborn? So I think everyone that I sit with, and just even myself, there was a moment in my life where I heard something or something happened where I go, fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the day, it was like a before and after moment, I call them. That was the day that I decided to take this shit seriously.
Yeah.
And do you see any commonalities in what that is for different people?
It's such a fabulous question, and I don't have a good answer for you.
Because it's always so different.
It's so hard. I would love to say it was the rock bottom moment. I mean, it can be true. It's not always true.
Can I suggest another?
Please.
Maybe like big life changes like kids.
Death, friend, family, life becomes real.
I've heard that a few times on this show, actually.
You'll see that.
My dad had a heart attack.
You know what's crazy? The threat of death doesn't motivate anybody.
Right.
If it would have, we wouldn't have a 40% obesity rate.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know obesity tanks? Everybody knows. It's not an information issue. You know the risks associated with alcohol, smoking, social media. That does not change behavior. You get closer, though, when it's at home, right? Somebody died in the car accident. Fuck, I'm going to stop looking at my phone when I drive because my neighbor just died. My ex, like that's the thing that makes you go too close to home.
That's so true. I was saying to my fiance when I was driving the other day in the car, because I'm notorious for asking everybody to put their seatbelts on. If we get in a car, I'm the guy in a black cab or I'm like, everyone, could you put your seatbelts on, please? My team know this as well. Like if we going anywhere, I look around at every single person to make sure they have their seatbelts on.
Yeah.
When did this begin? When I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And they came to my school. I remember being sat in the front row. I almost remember my seat number. It was that vivid for me. 2 things I remember from 10 years old. They brought a mother who had lost her child in a car accident. And then they brought out a police person, and he described going to the scene of the accident, looking down at the person who'd just been in a car accident's phone, realizing that they were deceased, and then looking down and seeing their phone ringing, and it said, Mum. And I've never forgotten it. It was somewhat traumatic, but it's meant that for the rest of my life,
for sure,
I've policed seatbelts.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by these catalyst moments where an idea gets in your head and it just completely changes.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering what those ideas are for people as it relates to like weight loss and health. And so we ticked off some of them. Someone gets ill in your family, maybe a diagnosis.
In the performance perspective, this is when we'd argue for data. Because we've had this happen earlier in my career with a professional athlete who was not fast enough and was convinced he was fast. And then we put him on a force plate and we started collecting objective data. And at the same time, I had some of my students around and I had them do it. Kind of like what you did with your grip strength with Jeff. And it was like, you see how they're as fast as you are? And he was like, oh. Everything changed. Like he was totally bought in, made every training change that we asked. He had to see it in front of his face. Like he had to see his data. So my other answer to that to you would be, now that we've democratized health in this sense, the ability to see your own data, I would be willing to bet. Had I pulled up a blood panel that had the cholesterol levels that you saw, and I said, oh, this is a client of mine, you would be like, oh, okay, great. But then when I pull up yours and say, this is, you're like, oh, ketogenic diet's over. Yeah. Like we're done with that, right? Like there's no question.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.